Hello there, my name is Dr. Lou Jensen, and I'm the inventor of the Paragraving Power Pen. I think I invented the coolest tool on the planet 38 years ago. And that little idea has exploded underneath my life and a lot of other people's lives now, to the point that, gosh, I don't know how anybody could have had more fun with the last half of their life than I have. I formed Paragrave Corporation in 1983. And then it evolved into Paragraphics. We added some other hobbies into the equation, and now has become profitable hobbies on the web. And over the years, it has just fascinated me no end, of the people who buy a system and become involved with us, and those who succeed as opposed to those who do not. The business side of a hobby is the most fascinating thing in my life, and I've kind of become, over an evolution period of time, America's hobbypreneur coach. If you think about it, most really great businesses got started from the point of a hobby. It was something that they enjoyed doing, playing around in their garage, as low overhead as you could possibly have, and then they find the way it fits in the marketplace, and then all of a sudden we got a new Hewlett-Packard and a new IBM. So it's a great idea to have, first of all, a hobby. Aren't hobbies just the most therapeutic, passionate things in the world? If you don't have a really great hobby yet, we need to talk. There's just such great ideas out there in the marketplace. And if you do have a really great hobby, the odds are really high that you've thought many times, oh, Lord, if I could just make a buck doing this, I'd quit my job in about 30 seconds and go play with Lou and all his pals. I think what I've stumbled onto is an extremely good way to retire, actually. It's just, everything's changed in the last few years. And anybody that's in my age range now that's still struggling with a job is just running out of gas. You've worked for 40 years, and to try and find a way to retire and go play a little bit, maybe all you need is just a little nudge. So I'm filming this from my studio. This is my personal space. I named it Soulworthy because it is. It's the center of my creative life. I've produced an awful lot in this place over the years. It's 1,000 square feet of paradise, I kid you not. And to have built a place in my life like this is where I started. It's where I think you should start. When I'm coaching brand new people and they're trying to figure out how to go from their as-is world to something better, you just can't do it any better than a great hobby. But the making of this stuff is not the hard part. That's the part we all enjoy and love doing. Trading it in the marketplace and moving it into a business, that is more of a challenge. As I studied over our 25,000 customer base and watched those who succeeded, some have exceeded all my imagination. I just can't get over what some like Red Woodard and Darwin Dower and Jose Valencia, some of our superstars, have done. They've just found a way to go, and the way they went. And I started a group around our database called the Inspiration and Encouragement Network, the INE Network, to support that. And that membership and that mixture of all of us is really probably the best part of what's actually happened in this whole equation. Tammy and I were in Seattle one time in an art gallery, and we saw a painting by an artist who had been on his sailing ship. He was going up through the inland passageway, and he got in with a whole pod of killer whales, and they sailed together for about 2 hours. He says it was the greatest experience of his life. And so he did this painting, but the title of the painting was Traveling in Good Company. And Tammy turned to me and she says, that's what we're doing, isn't it? We really have quite a relationship for consumers and customers in our circle. We don't just sell you a tool. I would like to help you succeed even more, or get a fire burning that literally moves your life in the direction of being able to actually retire and come play for the last few precious years of your life. I've got a question that I throw at a lot of new people all the time, and it's just a dominant thought as you age and mature. Because we're not kids anymore. We don't have but a certain amount of time left. It really is the last chapter. And for most of us, what are we going to do with that last few precious years? You probably have maybe a thought or an idea or a thread of interest that you've been going to chase your whole life long and just never quite gotten around to it. Well, maybe now's the time. I have a mentor in my life who has kind of coached my success and my directions for years, and I've established what I call Success Mountain as a concept. Making something work in the marketplace is like going uphill. There's just no question. But if you've got a plan of action and you're climbing with others who are like-minded, also going up that same mountain that you want to climb, the odds improve dramatically that you'll actually have a chance to succeed. So I put together what I call Opportunity Intersection. I think it's the most incurious fact of life is that everybody and their dog can see opportunity after it's passed by. The trick to the marketplace is seeing opportunity way ahead of time. If I hadn't have chased that dream 38 years ago when I first came up with the idea of building the high-speed drill, it would never have gotten off the ground. And it takes that kind of effort to move from where you are to something better to make things succeed. And so I put together Opportunity Intersection is a business plan for turning a hobby into a successful small business. Now, there isn't anything out in the marketplace quite like it, and when I finally stumbled onto this difference, everything in business is normally included in what they call the yellow pages. But if you think about it very long, that's the things that people need. We call that market-driven stuff. And market-driven is put into the marketplace and traded on a whole different basis than things that people want. Needs in one world, wants is another. I think this is where artists struggle and have struggled for centuries, as we think it's the same as all business, but it's not. How you go after the marketplace from the want world is, in my mind, 180 degrees from the things that people need. So I'd like to invite you to take a look at Opportunity Intersection. I think it's the place to begin. If you've had your system or your blaster, engraver, or your airbrush for years, or you haven't even, I've had people that haven't even opened it, and I just cannot get over they've had this treasure right under their nose for all these years and didn't even realize what was there. I want you to first take a look at what I call the Ordinary Miracle. It's the DVD. I put together a sequence that shows who the people are that have succeeded and kind of what they're doing in the marketplace. And then I'll let you take a look at the first step. Step one of every great adventure is to build a really great dream. Steve Covey is one of the leading coaches or advisors in the marketplace. He's considered one of the top 25 most influential men in the world. Just passed away a little while ago from a bicycle accident. But in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the second habit is that people who succeed tend to go to the end in mind and then work backwards to where they are. Now that sequence to me is kind of like a dream here. You build a dream, you decide what you're going after. I thought so much about the fact that all I did was pick up an eggshell and carve it with a high-speed drill. Yes, I was a dentist. I was a general dentist for 15 years. My brother and I practiced here, Dr. Doug and Dr. Lou, in Vernal, Utah, the energy development capital of the world. And we used to run around with our shirts had embroidered on it, the Jensen Brothers Drilling Company. And had a lot of fun with that, but oh, I hated going to work. After a few years, I had all the toys, but all I had was income. I didn't have a life, and I wanted that more than anything. And then all of a sudden, along comes this crazy hobby. My kids and I were doing a family Easter egg decorating contest, and we did it every year, and it was Dad's job to lose. And this year, the kids were doing real fancy patterns on their shells, and I got the idea that my dental drill would probably cut out those patterns they'd painted on their eggshells, and I might one-up everybody this year and actually win finally. And my curiosity just got the better of me. It was a Saturday, so nobody was in the office, wouldn't see me doing such a crazy thing with my drill. And I went over to the office and fired up my secret weapon. And I will never forget the moment I first touched an eggshell with a high-speed drill. I thought I knew everything there was to know about cutting teeth and working with high-speed drills, but I did not. And when I pursued that thread of interest, you can't show me anything more worthless than an eggshell. And yet it became my hobby, and then it became my living, and now it's become my life. And I think there's something within range of you that's exactly like that. So follow down through what we've posted here on the website and take a look at what I think might really be something magical in your life about right now. That's the reason I call it an ordinary miracle. And I know a lot of people who are praying for a miracle at our age. They're looking for some way to grow old, something that can help them with their life. A buddy of mine just sent me a button, and I could share it with all of you. It says, "I've survived damn near everything." And at this point, have we not? It's just a matter of now making a little bend in your life, getting a really great hobby up and running, and then move it on over into the marketplace. Make enough of a business out of it so that you can write off all your travel, your cars, your trips, your play. It's the only way left to retire that I know of. And come play with us. We got some of the greatest people on the Western Hemisphere. Well, actually, we got a few now in the Eastern Hemisphere, too. And if you'll find something that you really like to do, get on Profitable Hobbies and look all over our website. Come to Dr. Lou Jensen Studio and sign up on Google+. I have a live webinar every Wednesday night on Google+. Get you a Google+ account and come sit in and see what we're doing. We're trying to coach and teach people of what to do here and how to turn it into a great little business. Every Wednesday. We've been doing it for 7 straight years now. So do this one thing for me. Go sign up on Google for a new Gmail account. Get you a new email. And a lot of you don't want to do that, but please listen to me here. I want you to get connected and move into what I call my apprentice program now. This is a way for me to help you get started and do better. And if you'll get that, your name as a studio, the Lou Jensen Studio, the Craig Hone Studio, the Al Hone Studio, all of us are setting our lives up with that same kind of an email. And that makes you then visible as a business. Anyone sees it as an email with a studio on it, automatically going to assume that you're some kind of an artist. So it's really smart. And the second you finish that Gmail registration, then Google will ask you if you want to do a Google Plus account. So go in and establish your name as Google Plus, and then look for my name. Put in Dr. Lou Jensen and Google Plus, and I guarantee it'll pop it right up. And then all of my shows are published over on YouTube when I do Hangouts every Wednesday night, Thursday night too. I've got a Thursday night blogging course that we're trying to teach people how to do a profitable blog. So between all of these tools, just get connected. And if you're still struggling with some of all this crazy internet and computer stuff, we still have the same exact 800 number that I remember when I signed up for that. The day I signed up for an 800 number service, the whole world around me was saying, "Don't do that, Lou, that's too expensive." And somehow we've been able to keep the lights on and that phone turned on and the door open now for 30 straight years. Same exact number, 800-624-7415. I think we're going to hand engrave that on my casket or my ashes urn when I'm done. We have had such a great time, and we invite you. You'd fit right in. What started out as my story quickly became our story, and we only need one more thing now to complete our triangulation. And that's your story. Get in touch, get connected, and I'll see you on the web.